Hey there guys, Skippy here from Skippy6 Gaming, coming to you guys with, this is an impromptu video. I've been getting so much conversation about this crossplay fiasco with Sony that I thought I was gonna address it, because I mean, honestly, in the last few days so many people keep trying to put up petitions in the community, in my video comments, you know, on a lot of them. I actually delete a lot of them because they're so overrun. But I think that said, I did address with everybody. We're just gonna run around. It's hard for me to talk about. I really have trouble talking about stuff and playing at the same time, except if I'm doing a tutorial. For some reason I can do that. We are going to address, honestly, my personal feelings as to what the truth is as to why Sony blocked crossplay, because as much as I'd like to go in, and I mean, I did a video, I'll throw it in the link, of course, when Sony responded to why they didn't do crossplay, because they've had this kind of come up with a few other games, and their response was, you know, a little bit off the cuff. I think a few people it left a few things desired with some people that were listening to it. And I think what I'm going to do is chirp in here exactly on what I feel the reason is, and show a little bit of stats to it, and maybe you guys will actually, you know, hopefully you guys see what I'm saying and understand, and maybe you won't, and if you don't, then chime in the comments below on what you think. So for this one here, guys, let's go for 472 likes. If you are one of the first 472 people to like this video, let me know in the comments below, and you could be down like Goofy. Goofy was 522nd. Wouldn't have made the cut this one, but still not bad. Lately we've been getting tons of likes, guys, and yeah, so if not, subscribe. Muhammad, Savage, Paul, and Brax, I think is how you say it there. And yeah, so let's jump into it. So basically, I'm just going to talk for this one. I might be trying to make a bunch of broken tutorials work in the background, and I'll do my best to actually do stuff. I think this is a locking door. Yeah, this is going to be a locking door. And I'll try to do stuff like that while we do it. Look at this, guys. This is super cool. I'm going to get into it. No more talking. See what happens when I go, oh, it opens a door, and then you could go in. And it closes on its own, I think. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so when we look back at the interview, basically, I did a video, like I said, I'll put it in the eye. What happens is Sony kind of basically emphasized, or a representative of Sony emphasized the fact that they want to be able to curate the online adventures of people on PlayStation Network, citing possibly the fact that most of Minecraft's player base is younger, which is more or less true. I mean, except for me, I mean, other than that, and a lot of the people that I play with. So again, people kind of thought that this might be a little bit of a cop-out. So what I'm going to do for you guys is kind of go into what I think the reason is. And honestly, you have to look at these consoles as kind of, they're a business, right? These guys are trying to run a business. It has a lot more to do with the business than it does for our small player base, because while Minecraft is a very large player base overall, in the grand scheme of Sony's network, we are only you know, a few percent, and they have to look out for their big business. So I think what we're gonna do here is, let's jump in. So I'm just gonna make the bold statement is there are games with crossplay. Crossplay games do exist, especially between Sony and PC. Games like War Thunder, Warframe, DC Universe, and they do exist. In addition, there are several different types of games that you have to basically log in or register with outside forces in order to play. So you'll see something like this. A good example that I can just think of offhand is say Battle.net. Battle.net when we're playing Overwatch, or even, I'm not even sure what it's called, but both Call of Duty and Battlefield have offline, or kind of online but offline, basically sites that you have to register with in order to play the game. Again, these are allowed, and you would say, hey, that seems cool, but unfortunately the thing that comes into play with Minecraft is that Microsoft owns Minecraft, so this becomes a problem because crossplay. So literally what I'm going to do is, I have a few things, I'm going to try to still walk around while I do this, but I really spent like a good hour today at least. So basically what you're going to see is, when Sony replied with, you know, questionable questioning what would happen in the online occurrences with Xbox, you'll see Phil Spencer, I'm just trying to open this up, he reported basically he wasn't the fondest of that, the fact that somebody would kind of make an assertion that somehow we're not keeping Minecraft players safe. He found, not only from a Microsoft perspective, but from a game industry perspective, why that has to become the dialogue, because it doesn't seem healthy for anybody, which is exactly what all of us thought. As soon as I thought, I'm like, what, it's not safe to play Minecraft Xbox? The first thing I thought was, you should see some of the interactions that I have in Overwatch or Elder Scrolls or tons of PlayStation Network stuff. I don't know if they could get any worse, and I mean, I think the same online activity that would happen in any of those games is what could happen in Minecraft, and I think you kind of take responsibility for that when, say, you let youngsters or your kids or little ones in general, or even grown-ups like me who get offended sometimes, play an online game. You got to kind of come to terms with the fact that trolls live online, and yeah, it still kind of works, I guess. Maybe not. And yeah, you gotta suck it up. But moving forward to that one, so basically, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna go over. So, long story short, that leads us to the next argument, is that this would be a difficult thing. People say, especially with Rocket League, it's coming up now, is that, you know, this would be a difficult thing to do. Well, actually it wouldn't, because if you see right here, basically this statement here says Rocket League crossplay would be up and running in less than an hour all over the world if Sony just said yes. So now that says that Sony is clearly blocking it. It's not a we can't do this. It's not a we can't do this. It's literally we don't want to do this. So why is that a problem? Sony lets you sign up with other outside sources to play games like Overwatch or, you know, any other game like that has like a BattleNet or whatnot. So this is the reason. I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on the screen. And this, again, as far as I'm concerned, this is my truth. But as you can see on this one right here, it comes down to user base. And again, just my opinion. I'm pretty sure, I hope I explain it good enough for everybody to understand. But as you can see, Microsoft Xbox Live has a lower count of active members. So basically, when you look, they have 48 million active Xbox Live members. Although this counts free and paid accounts. Basically what you're looking at, and if you look down lower in this, basically you're looking at PlayStation. This comes from one of their like investor summits or something like that last year. I don't even know. But you can see they have 60 million PlayStation users. So now, that said, you have to also include it into that 48 million and that's 60 million. A lot of those are just free accounts made just to even have a PlayStation or an Xbox. So to give you a rightful amount that would help you understand, so basically when looking at, say, PlayStation users, 60 million, in 2015 they did a survey or a test. So basically, of those 60 million, roughly 20 to 25 million of those users, and again, this is before you had to, so we're looking at 30, are actual PlayStation Plus members. Oh no, my battery's dying. So basically, this is the problem. As you can see right here, it looks like it isn't the problem, but if you look down here a little bit farther out, basically they say you should not expect a company to imitate Microsoft's Play Anywhere initiative with a similar service of its own. Basically, always hesitates to be drawn into discussions on someone else's strategy. I'm more than happy to talk about our own strategy. Yes, there was a big emphasis from the folks at Microsoft on Xbox and PC crossplay. It remains to be seen whether there is a latent large consumer demand for that. So basically, what you're going to see right here is that, and the final answer, on my opinion, I know someone's going to put in the comments like Skippy just loves talking so much, but literally, look at the top number right here, 48 million active Xbox Live members. Down here, 60 million PlayStation users. They are in a console war, guys. They are fighting for that top spot. There's a reason Nintendo is okay with doing this, because they are not giving anybody a victory by doing this. They are only going to increase the amount of people that can play with Switch players, which, when you break it down as far as networks go, Nintendo has the smallest out of all of them. So if you were to welcome millions of Xbox players to play with your Nintendo players, you would be doing yourself a favor. So Nintendo's on board 100%, because basically they could be maybe even doubling their player base in Minecraft just by allowing this. However, PlayStation doesn't want to do that, because if you look at those two numbers, PlayStation would technically, now I'm going to throw something else on the screen right now, is this chart right here. So this is actually old. Let me go. So this is 2015. So this is actual total sales of units. In the last bit, you looked at Sony. That Sony almost has double as many as Xbox. So let's get rid of this one and let's put this one up. This one right here shows that Minecraft on PlayStation 4 has sold 5 million copies. 5 million copies of, and again, this is just the best research that I could do, but this is platform PlayStation 4 and 5 million. So basically, now that we look at that information, what you would technically be doing is telling Sony with their 60 million users to allow Xbox with their 48 million users to instantly get 5 million PlayStation users to sign up for an Xbox Live account, which is exactly what you would have to do in order to play CrossPlay Minecraft on a PlayStation, which comes out even more silly because now they would instantly take their 60 million to 48 million and turn it to a 60 million to a 53 million, literally adding up to 5 million new users to Xbox Live when the fight is this close in the first place. So there you have it. We're at 11 minutes. I'm not going to go too much farther, but literally this is the reason, as far as I'm concerned, that Sony will not do crossplay with Microsoft. They will allow various other crossplays with PC, with things like that, but this is exactly the reason why. So when I see people getting so amped up, I'm passionate about it too, man. Go for it, fight for it. But we have to recognize that in the grand scheme, there is no way that Sony is just going to give 5 million active Xbox Live users to their competition who is so close. When you really break it down to it, it's just not going to happen. 5 million users is a lot. You would be giving them a lot of ground to cover. And that said, they would also have 5 million more reasons for people right now. They say, hey, my friend plays on PlayStation, so I want to get a PlayStation 2. And it's something that they don't really want to mix and match with. But there you go. There's my rant. I might even put rant in the title. But I hope everybody made it to the end where I was kind of clear about this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But guys, this is simple, straight math. They're not going to give 5 million active users to their closest competition. It is not going to happen. I really don't think that all the petitions and everything we do are ever going to lead up to it. And every time someone messages me and asks me about it, the few people that I actually engage with and have discussions about it, I literally just say there's no way they're going to let them get that close based on this. Because, you know, when you really look at it, there is a good chance, you know what? Maybe Microsoft was thinking about this at the time of purchase. When they spent $2.5 billion buying Minecraft, they have to kind of think, hey, how are we going to get our money back? Where is this money going to come from? And you know what? Adding 5 million Xbox Live users within a moment, you know, up to 5 million, that would be a good thing. So on that note, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to smash the like before you go. And don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, catch you on the next one.